Most people don't realize something's missing from their garage until they're already mid-job. Not while watching videos, not while browsing a catalog. When the car is already on jack stands, the bolt won't budge, and the one tool that would solve it in 30 seconds isn't there. That's when it hits. Here's what almost nobody says out loud. The tools that matter most aren't the exotic ones. They're the ones you reach for constantly without thinking. The basics you assume you already have covered. And right now, heading into summer, with steel prices, shipping costs, and seasonal demand all moving in the same direction, the window for buying smart at normal prices is shorter than most people realize. These aren't luxury upgrades. They're the tools that separate a functional garage from a frustrating one. 12 of them, most under $50, all available right now at current prices, without wait lists or back orders. That changes. Most garages have one. Most of them haven't been calibrated since they were bought. A torque wrench that reads wrong isn't a torque wrench. It's a false sense of security with a handle on it. Wheel lug nuts under-torqued work loose, over-torqued, and you're dealing with warped rotors or snapped studs on the side of a road. The job looks done. The problem is invisible until it isn't. A decent click-type torque wrench in the range most home mechanics actually use, 10 to 150 foot-pounds, runs between $30 and $60. That range covers brake jobs, suspension work, oil drain plugs, wheel swaps, the jobs you're actually doing every season. Buy one, have it checked. If yours has been sitting in a drawer for 3 years, replace it. The cost of getting this wrong is always higher than the cost of the tool. Here's the mistake almost every home mechanic makes once. They buy a socket set. A good one, they think. And then 6 months later, they're stripping a bolt because they're using a 3/8 drive on something that needs a 1/2 inch. Or they're missing metric sizes because the set only went SAE. Manufacturers don't pick one standard. Your car has both. A brake caliper bolt is metric. The trailer hitch your buddy needs help with is SAE. The socket set that only covers one system leaves you half covered on every job. A complete set, metric and SAE, 1/4, 3/8 and 1/2 inch drives, shallow and deep, runs between $40 and $90 from a reliable brand. Not a lifetime purchase if you buy cheap. A genuine lifetime purchase if you buy once at the right level. The sockets you're missing are always the ones you need right now. This is the item that ends jobs before they start. You approach a rusted bolt with the right socket, the right torque, the right technique, and it rounds off anyway. Or worse, it snaps. Now a 30-minute job is a 3-hour extraction nightmare. Penetrating oil applied 24 hours before you wrench on something corroded isn't a trick. It's the difference between a job that goes smoothly and one that doesn't go at all. The mistake most mechanics make isn't skipping it. It's running out. You grab for the can, it's empty, and you're already committed to the job. 2 cans minimum, 1 on the bench, 1 in reserve. Rotate before they run dry. This costs under $10 and has saved more jobs than any power tool in the garage. Here's where this gets serious. A floor jack is not a safety device. It is a lifting device. The moment a car is in the air, the jack stands are what keep it there. Using a floor jack alone, even briefly, even for a quick look underneath, is how people get killed doing their own maintenance. This isn't a fringe risk. It's a documented, recurring cause of serious injury in home garages. The hydraulic seal fails. The jack shifts. The car comes down. A quality 2-ton aluminum floor jack runs between $60 and $120. A set of jack stands rated for your vehicle's weight runs another $30 to $50. That combination, jack to lift, stands to hold, is the baseline for any work done under a vehicle. If your current jack came from a discount bin and wobbles on uneven concrete, replace it. If you don't own stands, that changes today. No job under a car is worth skipping this. None. We're halfway through the list. If this is useful, hit the like. It helps this reach people who actually work on their own vehicles. 6 more to go, and these are the ones most mechanics don't think about until they need them. The job that looks mechanical is often electrical. A no-start condition, an intermittent warning light, an accessory that stopped working for no obvious reason, Without a multimeter, your diagnostic process is guessing. With one, you're measuring. Battery voltage, circuit continuity, resistance across a sensor. These aren't advanced concepts. They're the first questions you need to answer before replacing parts that don't need replacing. And that's the actual cost of not having a multimeter, not the tool itself. The parts you buy wrong because you diagnosed by elimination instead of measurement. A reliable digital multimeter runs between $15 and $40. It will pay for itself the first time it tells you the battery is fine and the problem is the connection. A ratchet is for finishing. A breaker bar is for starting. That distinction matters the moment you're facing a crankshaft bolt, a lug nut that's been on since the last owner, or an oil drain plug that someone over-torqued with an impact gun 3 oil changes ago. A ratchet will flex, slip, or break under that kind of load. A breaker bar, half-inch drive, 18 inches minimum, transfers force cleanly without a ratcheting mechanism to fail under pressure. This is the tool that makes you stop before you hurt your hand, strip the fastener, or break your ratchet. It costs between $15 and $35, and it changes the physics of every stuck fastener you'll ever encounter. You can have every tool on this list and still be working blind. Garage lighting is almost always wrong. Overhead fixtures create shadows exactly where you're working. The area behind the engine, under the dash, inside a wheel well. Those spaces are dark by design. And working in the dark means missed connections, wrong routing, and assembly errors you won't discover until something doesn't work. A good LED work light, rechargeable, magnetic base, adjustable, runs between $20 and $50. It goes where the light isn't. It sticks to whatever surface is nearby. Both hands stay free. The errors you prevent by actually seeing what you're doing don't show up in any tool review. They show up in jobs that go right the first time. How many of these are already in your garage? Not one pair. A set. Needle nose for reaching into tight spaces. Slip joint for general grip work. Locking pliers. Vice grips for holding what can't be held any other way. Cutting pliers for wire work. Each one does something the others can't. The mistake is owning one pair and improvising the rest. Improvisation with pliers means rounded fasteners, damaged hose clamps, and wire connections that fail 3 months after the job is done. A quality set covering those 4 types runs between $25 and $60. It's not glamorous. It's the category of tool you use on every single job without exception, and the quality difference between a cheap pair and a decent one is felt every time you pick them up. Here's the job that never makes it onto the list but always needs doing. A wire with cracked insulation, a connection that corroded, a splice that was done wrong years ago and is finally causing problems. These are the issues that create the intermittent gremlins. The warning light that comes and goes, the accessory that works sometimes, the short that nobody can find. Electrical tape alone isn't enough. It unravels with heat and age. Heat shrink connectors done properly are permanent. They seal against moisture, they don't come loose, and they look like a professional did the work. The combined cost of a roll of quality electrical tape, a heat shrink assortment, and a pack of proper connectors is under $15. The cost of ignoring a bad splice is an electrical fault that takes hours to trace and causes damage to components that cost far more than $15 to replace. This is the one that gets dismissed until a screwdriver snaps inside a slot or cams out a Phillips head on an interior panel that now has to come out a different way. Cheap screwdrivers are made of soft steel. They deform under load. Once the tip is worn, it doesn't grip. It slips. And a slipping screwdriver on a screw you need to remove is the beginning of a problem that didn't need to exist. A quality set, Phillips in multiple sizes, flathead, Torx, and JIS if you work on Japanese vehicles, runs between $20 and $50 from a brand that uses hardened steel and proper tip geometry. The difference isn't visible in a photo. It's felt the first time you seat the driver correctly, and the fastener breaks free cleanly instead of rounding off. Treat screwdrivers like precision tools, because they are. Not paper towels, shop rags, and not one can of brake cleaner. A case. Brake cleaner isn't just for brakes. It's the fastest, cleanest way to degrease any surface before an inspection, before a gasket seats, before paint, before adhesive. It flashes off completely, leaves no residue, and costs about $4 a can. Shop rags are the other half of this. Paper towels leave fibers on surfaces where fibers cause problems. Sensor housings, brake components, machine surfaces. A reusable shop rag doesn't. It also handles fluid spills, cleanup, and protection in ways that paper never quite manages. The combination costs almost nothing. The absence of it means every job ends with a surface that isn't quite clean, and surfaces that aren't quite clean are where problems start. Stock both before you need them. Running out mid-job is completely avoidable. It appeared at number 9. It's closing the list. Here's why. Every item between then and now assumes you can get under the vehicle safely. The torque wrench, the breaker bar, the penetrating oil, the work light, all of it depends on the car being properly supported before you get underneath it. A floor jack and stands aren't one item in a prepared garage. They're the item that determines whether every other item on this list can be used safely. A cheap jack that fails under load doesn't just end the job. In the worst case, it ends far more than that. Buy quality here. Not premium, quality. A reputable brand, rated for your vehicle's weight, that will hold without drift and lift without flexing. Pair it with rated stands, always, without exception. Every item on this list is available right now. Normal prices. No seasonal markup yet. No wait lists. That changes heading into summer. Demand goes up. Prices follow. The socket set that's $45 today won't be $45 in August. The floor jack that's in stock now may not be in the size you need when you're ready to buy it. The people who have a functional, complete garage setup aren't the ones who scrambled to put it together when they needed it. They're the ones who built it before that moment arrived. Not dramatically earlier, just ahead of the point where the cost went up and the selection went down. 12 tools, most under $50. The only question is whether you move before July 1st or wait until summer pricing and low stock answer it for you. Which one of these is already in your garage, and which one have you been putting off? Drop it in the comments. I read everyone.